Very exciting playing, and we're going to give you a rest and talk to you before you dive into Kreisler.
Thank you.
But I mentioned that you're going to be with chamber music too. So is this something that you feel is a very important part of your life, along with solos such as the Prokofiev?
Of course. Chamber music is kind of the complete form of music to me. It's, concertos are chamber music, even solo music within, the Prokofiev, you have to balance each voice. So yeah, chamber music is sort of the building block for me for all of my hopeful music making, and so the Chamber Music Society 2 program is going to be very important.
Very good. Now, tell us about the Avery Fisher. Where were you when you got the call?
I was in my apartment. I think this was back in January or February. I was told that I had a call coming my way from kind of a local newspaper in Florida that was going to be previewing a concert for something I was going to do in Jacksonville. And I had a late rehearsal the night before, and I had been up late. The interview was scheduled for some time earlier than I usually wake up, and I got the call, and I was thinking, what am I playing? Because I have a lot of repertoire that I'm balancing. I want to know which pieces I'm playing. So I was just completely jumbled. And then they called me and they said, Benjamin, I know that you're expecting an interview about this upcoming concert. And I said, yes. And they said, well, sorry to disappoint, but, we would like to congratulate you. You just won the Avery Fisher Career Grant. And I think I said, no,
You turned it down, in other words. What does this career grant mean to you? I mean, yeah, you get a nice bundle of cash, that's nice, but beyond that, what do you think this will do for you, and what does it mean to you? It
means a lot of thanks, and to be entirely honest. I have a lot of friends and family here who have been behind me, my entire time as a violinist, and without them, I would not be here. I looked at the list after they called me of the people who had won it in the past. I know most of the names, but then looking again, it just reminds you that you have very big shoes to fill. And it's such an honor, and I was so humbled. I mean, really, it's looking at my past teachers, past idols, they've won it. And for me, this prize is kind of a pat on the back, and at the same time, it's a recognition that this is definitely not the end. It's good job for now, but keep going. So.
Indeed. When did you start? When did you come to the fiddle? What age?
I was 5.5 when I started.
Oh, so you were a late bloomer.
Right.
So that's because you remember when I was talking with Conrad, he started at 4. So you came late. And did you already have a sense that this was going to be an important element of you, or was this just one other thing you did as a kid?
Not when I was 5. I definitely didn't know that this was going to be my kind of lifelong pursuit. I started playing because of my sister. She's 2 years older than me, and she started playing when she was 5. And I went to all of her lessons and kind of picked up some of the tunes that she was working on. And once I started, I asked my parents if I could start too, because I want to be just like my sister. And it became kind of our family's thing. It was, we'd go to summer festivals, summer camps, we'd go to concerts together. And for myself, by the time I was maybe about 10 or 11, I realized that, I think I had something special, and that this was something that I really enjoyed.
Has your sister kept it up as well?
Yes, she is a violist, and she switched to viola in high school, and she just graduated from her master's degree at the University of Southern California. She went to Juilliard for her bachelor's. We play duets a lot.
Ah, well, I was just wondering because we mentioned that you studied with Ida Kavafi, and Ida and Ani have made such a marvelous family duo, and I was just wondering, are you going to do the same? And it could be there
sure, yeah.
as well. And it is really just wonderful that you have this sense of purpose and thrust going forward. What do you do in your spare time? We know that Conrad reads Greek, but what do you do when you're not practicing or?
I try to be as normal as possible. I hang out with my friends. I play FIFA on Xbox. I do really enjoy reading and writing, from time to time, but especially reading.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are going to move on, and you're going to be joined at the piano by Yakwon Sun Woo. And you recorded the other two Prokofiev sonatas with him.
Yes.
So tell us a little about this collaboration and how you found him, or he you.
Yaquan and I met when we were both students at the Curtis Institute. I think it may have been, at this point, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. We were placed in a chamber group together. It was a piano trio, and we had a concert coming up, and we discovered that we really enjoyed playing with each other. So after that, we would work on Beethoven sonatas and Mozart sonatas, and just we really formed this incredible bond as musicians. But even after that, we became very close friends, and the recording was a result of my winning the Montreal International competition about, I think, 2 years ago. And they asked, what kind of CD do you want to put together? Do you want it to be solo? Do you want it to be chamber music? And I thought immediately of Yaquan. I needed to partner with the guy who's been by my side, so many years. I think we recorded it last January, and it was freezing cold in Montreal. It was like we had to kind of trudge through the snow. We got lost to the first on our way to the first recording session. But yeah, he's been with me through it all. We travel a lot together, and I couldn't ask for a better partner. Wonderful. Both on stage.
Well, let's call out Yaquan Sun-woo, who will be joining. But don't you go away, Ben, because I want to ask you about this Kreisler piece. Greetings. Welcome. We all know Fritz Kreisler for these marvelous miniatures. I mean, let alone his own gifts as a violinist. I mean, the compositions, the Schönmarin, and all those wonderful Viennese pieces. This one is, first of all, seems to be more extended, a longer and more ambitious work. And it's also one that doesn't seem to get around much. So tell us about, and I see if I get it right, the Viennese Rhapsodic Fantasietta?
Yep,
that's right.
There you go.
That's a pretty wild title to start with.
Yep. But I think it sums up everything that it is. It has definitely the Viennese aspects. It has this, the waltz to it, kind of the charm that you think of when you think of the city. The Rhapsody, it's very, you'll hear just in the opening, 30 seconds. It has this rhapsodic element and fantasy. He took, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he took two pieces that he enjoyed, he was working on, and he actually kind of conjoined them. And you can kind of hear this split and then, a connection. It's almost two pieces as one. But yeah, my teacher, Ida Kavafian, she put me onto this piece because her teacher, Oskar Shumsky, recorded all the Kreisler pieces, and she gave me the recording and said, I think this would be great for you. And we listened to it, and we were listening to it on our iPhone, and we heard the very end, and you'll see it ends like 10 times. First it has, it has kind of this rubato section, then it has octaves, and then it's got arpeggios. It's just fireworks at the end. And so we heard the ending and said, okay, done. I'm going to play it.
Well, that's one way of learning a piece. You learn the last notes, and then you work backwards.
Right.
All right, we're looking forward. Ben Beilman, joined by Yaquan Sun-woo, and the Viennese Rhapsodic Fantasietta of Fritz Kreisler.